We don't know if Building 7 is near any other buildings that might
that might be in danger.
Right.
The orientation of Building 7 is certainly close to that entire complex, and if that was the intent of these terrorists to wipe out an entire World Trade Center complex, they seem to be doing it building by building, and had some very sharp calculations in terms of what damage they would cause by hitting these two buildings.
Well, that was the intent in '93. Their intent was to hit one building, hopefully it would topple and knock over the other one. So that was their intent. And if it is terrorism, which it appears to be, that's probably their intent was today.
Okay, we got some more details about Building 7 right now. Barbara Nevins-Taylor is on our news line right now. Barbara, you witnessed what happened. Did Building 7 in fact collapse?
Yeah, Building 7 collapsed, but I think that there is another building that has just collapsed. It is a green glass building at, I believe it is at Barclay Street, where I was standing this morning at about 9:20. We were standing here just 5 minutes ago at about 20 after 5, looking south from Canal toward the World Trade Tower area, when another cloud of smoke blew up and the building just tipped over. This was a green glass building. Now, I don't believe...
North of Building 7?
I believe that's north of Building 7,
okay,
as far as I know. That's why Building 7, I believe, collapsed a few minutes earlier, and now this building, it's a green glass building, just collapsed, just tipped over. It's falling like a domino.
Falling like a domino to the south?
It fell to the east.
To the east.
Barbara,
okay.
any other buildings in danger now of collapsing with that?
There is a huge, yes, because there is a huge cloud of smoke enveloping the area. It's very difficult to make out which buildings have been engulfed by flames or whose structure has been damaged, but it is very likely that other buildings are at risk as well. I just talked to a man who came from Ground Zero, from the area, and he said that he had noticed that the windows in the residential buildings at Gateway Plaza, which, if you recall, are the first residential buildings in Battery Park City, the first buildings that went up in Battery Park City, he said those windows were blown out.
Wow.
So we really now not only have to worry about the people who were in the trade towers, but the people who live in the area.
I was
Rosanna,
wondering,
this is what you were talking about before with the domino effect.
The domino effect, and I was wondering about those residential buildings over there because they're very close to the World Trade Center, and whether they had to evacuate. We haven't heard anything about that, whether they evacuated those residential buildings, and they're pretty big over there.
They're huge. Rosanna, all day long I've been talking to people who were evacuated very early from the World Financial Towers, which are the buildings on the west side of West Street, across from the World Trade Towers. They were evacuated immediately. Almost after the first plane hit, they came out in the street, and many of our eyewitnesses saw the second plane crash, and they have been in the area all day, north of the area.
Now, Barbara, how many blocks away are you from where all these buildings are collapsing?
I'm about 15 blocks away.
15 blocks away. I mean,
But
that's
understand
still relatively close.
this morning I was at the base of the building that just collapsed. This morning at about 9:20, my husband and I were standing with a group of police officers at the base of the building that just collapsed, when one of the police officers said, "The building is falling," and he was talking about the North World Trade Tower building. It wasn't falling at that point, but it looked like there was a third explosion in the building, and part of the middle floor came flying out towards us, and everybody ran north, and that was the second wave of people to run north. And about 20 minutes after that, the buildings collapsed.
Okay, Barbara Nevins-Taylor, thank you very much for that report.
All right, now we're going to go to Mike Sheehan, who's